our honorable judges of Bombay High Court, senior advocates, invitees, my fellow members of the Bombay Bar Association, ladies and gentlemen. It is my proud privilege to welcome this august gathering on this historic occasion at this splendid venue to commemorate the journey of Bombay Bar Association through 19th, 20th, and 21st century, and to celebrate sesquicentenary of our recorded history, which began on 22nd January 1866. Not far away from this place, now at a building now called Great Western Building on Shahid Bhagat Singh Road, on 8th May 1824, which was a Saturday, a new court called Supreme Court of Bombay was inaugurated. This court superseded the earlier court called Recorder's Court, which was established in 1798. A new charter establishing Supreme Court of Bombay was read out, and Sir Edward West took oath as Chief Justice of Supreme Court, and Sir Charles Chambers took oath as Puisne Judge of Supreme Court of Bombay. 21 guns were fired. On Monday, the first working day of Supreme Court of Bombay, on 10th May 1824, 4 barristers and Advocate General were sworn in as advocates of the new court, that is Supreme Court of Bombay. Advocate General Mr. Melli then presented latest patent issued to him as Advocate General and claimed that he had precedence over rest of the bar, which consisted of 4 members, to which the other 4 barristers promptly objected. And the Supreme Court heard its first case to decide whether Advocate General had precedence over the other 4 barristers. And the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Advocate General, holding that Advocate General was the leader of the bar. That's how the Bombay Bar began on 10th of May 1824 with Advocate General as its ex officio president. This tradition of Advocate General being the president of Bombay Bar continued till 1973. Late Mr. H.M. Sirvai was the last ex officio president of Bombay Bar Association. This bar came to be known as Bombay Bar and continued to be called so till 1920, when it started being referred to as Bombay Bar Association, because by then the Wakils Association, which is now Advocates Association of Western India, the Police Court Bar Association and Small Causes Court Bar Association had started functioning, and even Bar Council was put in place by then. This bar continued from 1824 till 1862 in the Supreme Court of Bombay, when Bombay High Court was established on 14th August 1862. The original civil and criminal jurisdiction, which was exercised by the Supreme Court till then, was then conferred upon the Bombay High Court. The Sadar Diwani and Sadar Fauzdari Adalats became the appellate side of the Bombay High Court. The Bombay Bar had then, from 1824, grown from 5 members to 10 members, and today it boasts a membership of over 3,000 members. The Bombay Bar has records available from 22nd January 1866, and that is how we are celebrating the sesquicentenary of its recorded history. Our first available minute of 22nd January 1866 is not an inaugural meeting, it's a routine meeting. It records a resolution that a barrister will not accept a brief in a long cause without a junior being briefed in the matter, and it further records, as was the tradition of this bar in the Supreme Court of Bombay. The rules of 1870 also record various prescriptions made to the members, how much fee they will charge in Supreme Court, in Sadar Diwani and Fauzdari Adalat if they were briefed, and in which circumstances they would accept such briefs. Obviously, these rules predate 1862, and they are remnants of the time from 1824. The periodicals of those days, like Bombay Gazetteer, Allen's Indian Journal, Asiatic Journal and Monthly Register for British and Foreign India, used to record various events at Supreme Court, at Bombay Bar, and other events in Bombay. All members of the Bombay Bar were referred to as so-and-so member of Bombay Bar in various documents such as club registers, particularly Bhaikala Club, which was very popular with the members of Bombay Bar, shipping registers showing arriving and departing ships with the members of Bombay Bar. Bombay Bar has thus become synonymous with the bar of lawyers practicing at the Supreme Court and later on the original side of Bombay High Court. The members of BBA have always been known for industry, hard work, thoroughness, meticulous research, and complete professionalism. During the span of 67 years that the Supreme Court of India has functioned, 8 members of Bombay Bar Association have become Chief Justices of India. 19 members have become judges of Supreme Court. 7 members have become Attorneys General for India, and 8 have become Solicitors General. No other bar association in history can boast of such a claim. The time span during which the Chief Justices, judges, and law officers adorn these offices will clearly demonstrate the enormity of the impact these persons have had on the justice administration system in this country. As far as Bombay High Court is concerned, the Bombay Bar has provided over 120 judges of Bombay High Court since beginning and 7 Chief Justices from 1947 onwards. That number, of course, doesn't grow anymore because of the practice of having Chief Justice from outside the state. Dorabji Nasarwanji Bahadurji was the first acting Advocate General from the Bombay Bar. The first Indian to get the permanent appointment as Advocate General was Sir Jamshedji Kanga in 1923. BBA members have been uninterruptedly the Advocate General till 1973. The BBA has a glorious record of firsts to its credits on various fronts. That record is all known, but I must, on this momentous occasion, repeat few names. First, Chief Justice of Supreme Court of India, Sir Harilal Kania. First, Chief Justice of Bombay High Court, Justice M.C. Chagla. First, Attorney General for India, M.C. Setalvad. First, Solicitor General for India, C.K. Daftari. First, Advocate General of the Province of Bombay, Sir M. Westrop. First, Indian Advocate General, Sir Jamshedji Kanga. First Advocate General of Bombay post-independence, C.K. Daftari. First Advocate General of State of Maharashtra, H.M. Sirvai. First Lady Lawyer of the Bombay High Court, Cornelia Sarabji. First Lady Barrister, Mithan Tata. First Lady Judge of Bombay High Court and First Lady Chief Justice of Bombay High Court, Honorable Sujata Manohar, who is with us this morning. First Senior Advocate of Bombay, Lady Senior Advocate of Bombay High Court, Sohiniben Nanavati. First Lady Law Officer of Union of India, Indira Jaisingh. First Advocate General of State of Gujarat, and who held that office for over 40 years, J.M. Elias Shankar Bhai Thakur. And first Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court, Justice S.T. Desai. The Bombay Bar Association has produced legends. It is an impossible task to name them all in the span of over 190 years. However, few names must be mentioned, which include founder of Indian National Congress and father of Bombay Municipal Corporation, Feroz Shah Mehta, father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, Iron Man of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, architect of Indian Constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, founder of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Dr. K.M. Munshi, and two greatest constitutional lawyers this country has ever produced, Mr. Nani Palkhiwala and Mr. H.M. Sirvai, and Privy Councillor Sir Dinsha Mulla. Apart from being a lawyer, academician, author, he was also principal of Government Law College. Few other stalwarts which must be mentioned. As I said, there are too innumerable to mention, but few men must be mentioned on this occasion. Sir Nasarwanji Engineer, Bhulabai Desai, Sir Chimanlal Setalvad, Motilal Setalvad, Purushottam Trikamdas, C.K. Daftari, Vitthal Bhai Patel, Marzban Mistri, Rustam Kola, M.P. Lad, A.S.R. Chari, K.S.A. Somji, Kal Khandalawala, G.N. Joshi, Mr. Mathalon, M.P. Amin, Karshetji Baba, S.V. Gupte, R.J. Joshi, G.A. Thakkar, Kharshetji Cooper, K.K. Singhvi, J.C. Bhatt, Y.B. Rege, Mahendra Bhai Shah, J.I. Mehta, S.P. Mehta, Atul Setalwad, P.P. Khambata, Hochan Advani, and of course Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who was also very active member of the Bombay Bar. This list is incomplete, and it's impossible to mention all names, and it of course does not include the living legends of Bombay Bar, some of whom are present with us. The BBA's well-preserved records, including the minutes of standing committee and annual general meetings, are a wealth of history, information, and interesting anecdotes. The Bombay Bar has been committed through last 3 centuries towards independence of judiciary, and we have fearlessly and valiantly fought any inroad on independence of judiciary. A portrait of legendary Sir John Peter Grant, donated by residents of Bombay, is adorning the central hall of the Bombay High Court. He symbolizes courage, conviction, and determination of judicial independence. On April 1, 1829, Sir John Peter Grant, Chief Justice of Supreme Court of Bombay, declared in open court that the Supreme Court had, and I quote, seized on all its sides, and that he would perform none of the functions of a judge until the court had received an assurance that its authority would be respected and its process obeyed and rendered effectual by government and presidency, unquote. This outburst came in the backdrop of the writ of habeas corpus issued by the Supreme Court being ignored by the government. Although eventually the issue of jurisdiction was decided by Privy Council in favor of the government, strictures were passed against the government for defiance of the court order, and this emphasizes importance of judicial review and judicial independence. This incident has inspired several generations of judges of Supreme Court of Bombay, Bombay High Court, and the members of Bombay Bar Association, and we continue to be inspired for maintenance of the independence of judiciary. Any attack on independence of judiciary has been vehemently protested by the Bombay Bar Association in last 3 centuries. The first recorded incidents we have is 14th November 1895, when Bar protested against non-confirmation of Justice Starling, who was, though acting judge, he was not confirmed by the British government. We vehemently protested it as an incidence of inroad on the judicial independence. In yet another incident, in 1943, Bombay Bar protested that the senior-most puny Indian judge was not appointed as Chief Justice of Bombay High Court, and a British person was brought in to be appointed as a judge of the Bombay High Court. The bar protested, and I quote, "The Bombay Bar Association records its emphatic protest against the appointment of an English barrister as Chief Justice of Bombay in succession of Sir John Bowman, passing over the most senior puny judge who is a member of the Bombay Bar and happens to be an Indian. It is highly regrettable that when an opportunity presented itself of appointing an Indian Chief Justice, it was not availed of. This association views with grave dissatisfaction its action on the part of the British government, which, in the opinion of the association, is an unmerited reflection both on the Indian members of the judiciary and the bar." Our point was proved when the person whose claim was ignored for appointment as Chief Justice of Bombay High Court eventually became the first Chief Justice of Supreme Court of India, Sir Harilal Kania. We express our deep anguish and shock and sense of relief at an assassination attempt on the life of Chief Justice of Bombay High Court in 1956. A proposed move to impeach some of the judges who heard the bank nationalization case on the ground that they held shares in the banks concerned who were involved in the litigation was strongly condemned by the Bombay Bar Association. Mr. Nani Palkhiwala moved a resolution which recorded that the judges had made disclosures about their shareholding, and all counsel on all sides had recorded their no objection. We said, quote, "This Bar Association further places on record its deep sense of appreciation of the independence and impartiality shown by the Supreme Court judges in the discharge of its duties." We protested against supersession of 3 senior judges of the Supreme Court in April 1973 in appointment of Chief Justice in the backdrop of Keshwanand Bharti case. We again protested when Justice H.R. Khanna was superseded in appointment of Chief Justice following his dissent in ADM Jabalpur case. We again protested against supersession of 3 senior-most judges, including Chief Justice of Gujarat High Court, in elevation of a puny judge from Gujarat High Court to the Supreme Court of India. We took upon ourselves the issue of aberration by certain members of the judiciary and took that matter to the conclusion in 1990 in respect of 4 judges of the Bombay High Court, and again in 1995 with reference to a sitting Chief Justice of Bombay High Court. We fearlessly protested against emergency, against transfer of judges, and against draconian constitutional amendments, and such meetings were attended in large number despite the looming threat of possible detention of the members who were protesting against the emergency and raising their voice. In 1980, when judiciary was under attack, when an attempt was being made to form a committed judiciary with circulars being issued and undertakings sought from the judges of the High Court, litigation was filed in the High Court, and one of our past president and our member, Mr. Chagla, was in the forefront in filing a litigation in the Supreme Court, which ultimately resulted in the first judge's case. We have protested on several occasions against the actions of the police, against the members of the legal profession, against the members of the judiciary, and one would recall the incident of handcuffing of a judicial magistrate of Nadiad in Gujarat. We strongly protested against the same and compelled the government of India to take action in that behalf to punish the guilty police officers. Apart from such serious events which we have recorded in our minutes, we have also recorded history about various other issues. In 1943, we called upon the government to amend the law to provide that the ladies should be allowed to be members of the jury, because by then the jury trial was still on in the High Court. We also called upon the government to abolish punishment of whipping, punishment of excommunication inflicted by the members of the society. In 1947, few months before independence, on the issue of felicitation of the senior members of the bar and the bench, an issue was raised that each member who is the proposed celebrity should be voted upon independently whether he should get dinner or not. And one person who got just one extra vote, 35 in favor, 35 against, and 36 in favor, was Muhammad Ali Jinnah. A requisition was received from the members of the Bombay Bar Association requesting that a resolution be passed to state that we will abstain the functioning of the court when electricity trips, because it is difficult to climb up and down the 3 stories of the High Court building, and the courtrooms become suffocated when there is no electricity. Of course, we did not pass that resolution and took up the matter with the High Court administration. Between 1935 and 1945, bar minutes record in relation to felicitations and dinners that we must take into consideration how many people we should invite in view of the rationing order and guest control order, because it prohibited the number of guests you could invite for a particular felicitation event. We, of course, in addition to all these serious and other legal matters, we have memories of the great indomitable Mrs. Gracious, who was with us for over 75 years. She passed away in July 2016. About 6 months back, she was having a whispering campaign with the members that she wanted to increase her tariff, and she would say that I must save for my old age. The BBA records are treasure trove and give you immense nostalgic delight turning their pages. You will see some of them in the coffee table book which will be released. Before legal aid concept came to be recognized under Article 21 as a part of personal liberty and got recognition in a constitutional amendment in Article 39A of the Constitution, BBA had provided legal aid in 1919, and we passed a resolution to give legal aid to the returning Indian soldiers and the families and dependents of the deceased Indian soldiers who were fighting the First World War. And our recorded history shows that we had given in large number of cases legal aid to such soldiers and their families. During emergency, we also gave legal aid and fought the cases of detention for the members. After the emergency was lifted, we passed resolutions and provided legal aid to the persons who had suffered because of emergency excesses during the emergency between 75 and 77. There has been criticism of original side, to which the Bombay Bar Association is a part and parcel. About the Bombay Bar had to fight a long litigation starting from 1987 about the retention of original side of the Bombay High Court. Though the matter was lost in the High Court as well as in the Supreme Court, the original side continued despite of that judgment because the infrastructure was not ready. Eventually, in 2012, that matter was eventually settled with consensus of all the parties, that is the other courts, the government, and of course the Bombay High Court. And our former Chief Justice, Justice Mohit Shah, who is present with us this morning, was instrumental in bringing about that settlement in 2012. Bombay is the commercial capital of India. The commerce and industry in this metropolis is enormous, and its problems are complicated and unique. The nature of commercial transactions do need special attention, which is provided by the ordinary original civil jurisdiction of the Bombay High Court. It is indeed an appropriate acknowledgement of the importance of original side and the Bombay Bar, which has now been received in this special year by virtue of an act passed by the Parliament known as the Commercial Courts, Commercial Divisions, and Commercial Appellate Division of the High Court Act 2015. Thus, not only the original side has been reincarnated, not only in the Bombay High Court, but there will be original jurisdiction now in all the high courts in the country. This is a tribute to original side and Bombay Bar Association. We welcome in our midst the architect of this amendment and this act, the former Chairman of Law Commission of India, Justice Ajit Shah, for his efforts in that behalf. This is a part of a slice of our history, but we just do not want to bask in the past glory. On this occasion, we remember and pay tributes to all those great advocates, judges, and statesmen who have made the Bombay Bar Association and given Bombay Bar Association its character and class. We are ready to face challenges arising out of mounting areas, the lack of infrastructure, globalization, and all other issues. In this special year, we are rededicating ourselves to the cause of administration of justice and maintaining rule of law, and for providing effective, speedy, and affordable justice to the litigants. We hope the current impasse in the judicial appointment is resolved soon. I recall an incident in 1986 when there was a conference of International Bar Association in Bombay. Mr. Fali Nariman was the president of India chapter of International Bar Association, and a conference was held in Bombay, which was attended by the then Chief Justice, Justice P.N. Bhagwati, and Law Minister, Mr. Ashok Sen. Mr. Nariman in his address said, because at that point of time, there was an issue relating to non-appointment of judges to the High Court and Supreme Court, as probably that continues as ever. Mr. Nariman said, let us lock these two gentlemen, the Chief Justice and the Law Minister, and let them not get out of the room till they have finalized the appointment of judges to the Supreme Court and the High Court. We are fortunate to have with us this morning two future Chief Justices of India and Attorney General. So without making any such appeal, we just request them that let this impasse be over and resolved soon. We have planned several activities for lawyers, providing legal aid, scholarship to students for moot courts and other competitions, and we have raised funds on this occasion. All our senior members have generously contributed on one request for this noble cause. So we will soon have welfare activities for our members on their retirement or in cases of medical emergencies, as well as we will be providing scholarship to law students on their examination results, as well as we'll provide them financial aid in cases of moot court competitions, elocution competitions, where deserving students are not able to attend those conferences and competitions for lack of financial support. We will be helping such students. The legacy of law, which the Bombay Bar has evolved over 3 centuries, is our pride, heritage, and culture. We are proud to have cultivated and nurtured that legacy. We pledge on this occasion to continue to dedicate ourselves towards preservation and maintenance of that rich heritage and culture, the legacy of law. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.